Oh! What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's Throwback Thursday video. In this one, I'm going to be doing the classic energy drink exhaust pipe mod. This is going to be an easy do-it-yourself project for your pocket bike at home. Let's get started. Alright guys, since we are working with the X7 pocket bike exhaust, I've bought in a few different size energy drinks just to see what will actually fit for this project. First, we're going to be trying the Mountain Dew Kickstart. For whatever can you do pick, you're definitely going to want to rinse it out with some water. Alright, perfect. The best part of this project is that you can sip on your energy drink while you're working on your bike. This stock exhaust is just way too plain for my taste. Yuck. Alright, so I disassembled my exhaust pipe tip. Let's see how this one looks. Honestly, that's so close, I think there's definitely a chance that this one could fit. I think I've got a good plan of what I need to do. To make this as safe as possible, I'm just going to be using a can opener to start off the cutting.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Let's see if this actually works this time. We're almost through cutting it. Alright, perfect. As you can see, using the can opener creates a nice and round hole here. Now for the top of the can. Alright, so as you can see, this is a total rough cut, but if this does work, I did buy a second can of the exact same style, so we can always modify it and clean it up for the second one if this does fit. Okay, so this is basically how it's going to fit. What if we kind of cut little tabs there and then fit it over the muffler tip right there? So after just a little bit of cleanup with the scissors, the can is already looking a lot better. So right now he's just cutting little slits in the can so they can possibly flare out. When you're working with these cans, these little pieces of aluminum foil can be brutal, so be very careful. So we just made 5 little slits in the bottom of the can now. Alright, now the plan is this should just slide over top of this where it was originally too big. Wow, that's looking actually really good. I didn't think that this can was going to work. As you can see, the tip isn't sticking out too far. Now if we just did the same on this side, this could slide into this. And it could work perfectly because this is our original exhaust pipe tip. So the goal is kind of to basically get it to look like this. Let's see if that will work. These little pieces are so nasty, guys. Seriously, be careful.
Let's try opening it up and try to get a spot where we can put the scissors in there.
So after a little bit of finagling with the knife and the scissors, we finally got a good cut started. Now we're just going around the bottom of the can.
Go slow, it's really sharp.
Now we're just gonna do the same idea of cleaning up the bottom, and we should be able to fit it on. So we just made 5 slits again, just like the other side. I like how it reads Kickstart like that, since this is a Kickstart pocket bike. Oh! Look at how nice that looks. So this is the old exhaust. It has this nasty insulation in it. So what I did is I bought some steel wool. If I do end up going with this design, I'm definitely going to want to stuff the inside of the can around the tailpipe with steel wool so it doesn't rattle around too much. To show you guys some of the other cans, we're just going to very gently take off this one. You want to be careful and avoid taking them off and on too much because this is very thin aluminum foil now. This was supposed to be the original design for this 16-ounce energy drink can, but as you can see, we kind of goofed up the bottom here. and we cut it clean off. So for this particular exhaust, it slides right over top, and that's just not gonna work. So we decided to buy the huge NOS energy drink. What ounce is this? 24 ounce. This would be very cool if this worked, but as you can see, it's just way too long, and we're not even gonna attempt this one. For our last can, I'm gonna be trying the red Rockstar energy drink, and we're gonna replicate this, but let's try and do it right this time.
Remember, this got all chewed up.
Yeah.
And that's where I need to cut in. And if I try to cut on the inside here, I'm gonna need a literal tin snip or something to get through this metal.
Because it's thicker, you're saying?
Really thick, yeah. I won't be able to get it with that dull blade. This hole here has to be this big.
Yeah, because the Kickstart worked perfectly. Since the Mountain Dew Kickstart is a 12-ounce can, and this is a 16-ounce can, we're going to have to get our cut right on this ridge here. This is going to take a precision cut. I do love how bright this red is, so I'm just going to give it a try anyways, even though it's supposed to be really hard. So first I'm going to attempt to make my cut on this line. This is where we need it. We now have a broken pair of scissors. So this is what I ended up with. I pretty much got it right in the middle of the two ridges. That's where I needed it. So this may actually work. It's not the cleanest cut right now because our scissors broke, but on the bottom I'm just going to be doing the same idea. I'm going to try to cut it right in the middle of the two ridges. So this side is no cakewalk. This aluminum on this side is a lot thicker, and we're working with a very dull blade here. Just gotta be very careful. So this is the end result of this can. It's pretty bad looking, but if it fits over, we could do some modifications to make it look better. That's if it works though. Oh. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh! Yeah, that's not gonna work. Guys, so don't get me wrong, this definitely could work. For our situation, we don't have the right cutting tools at this point, but if you were able to cut this nice and straight and get it the exact size of your pipe right here, this could definitely work. But this for sure works, and it works a lot easier if you're working with the 47cc pocket bikes. Because this is the original cans of the NOS pocket bike, which started this whole thing. So this does work, and it's only because this pipe is bigger on the end right here, and it's just a little bit different. That is the reason why this can isn't working perfectly for us, because we have to make that cut right in between the two ridges. For the X7 pocket bike exhaust and any other super bikes, the Tallboy energy drinks aren't going to fit. The 16-ounce energy drinks will fit, but you have to be very precise with where you're cutting your line. The 12-ounce cans work perfectly with just cutting it on the edge right here. So we're going to go ahead now and install the Kickstart can onto the bike with the steel wool. When you're doing this at home, be very careful because the can wants to fold up on you, and that'll just ruin the look. It's fairly straight, and I'm satisfied with it. Now we're just gonna stuff our steel wool in the remaining space inside of the pipe. So when you're working with the steel wool and it comes in a pack like this, you might think it doesn't unfold and you just want to rip it apart, but it actually does unfold pretty well. This will make it easier to stuff it inside of the pipe. So once you do get it unfolded, you're just gonna wanna close it up like this and then start stuffing it in there. I'm just gonna use my screwdriver to kind of stuff it down there. I'm just going to try and do the same thing. So 2 little folded up pieces seem to be the perfect formula for the X7 pocket bike exhaust. You might have a few little stranglers like this, but we can always rip those off at the end. Lastly, I've got my spring here, and that just fits right over top, and then the little Carter pin. Perfect. Now just don't forget to spread out these tabs here for the final step. Okay, seems pretty solid. Now let's see what it sounds like. So as you guys just heard, it doesn't really alter the sound at all, which is very nice. And in some ways it might sound better, just depending on how well you make your cuts and how well you're gonna insulate it. But it sounds really good to me. So that wraps up this project. Be sure to tune in next time when we modify the chainsaw pocket bike exhaust. Thanks for watching, guys.